It's Toxic Tuesday, where we sip the tea and roast the hate. Red flags, boom, we don't negotiate. We light the fuse and detonate. It's Toxic Tuesday, so grab your mug. We spill it all, no shame, no shrug. Your ex was trash, we see you, boo. Let's talk it out and heal that too. Welcome to Date or Detonate. This is the place where truth gets loud, but you're still safe and we're still proud. Blood through the pain, unlearn the fear. Fix your crown, we're glad you're here. It's Toxic Tuesday. So block that ghost, delete that clown. You've got this now, go run this town. Welcome to Date or Detonate. Go bliss, block and bounce. It's Toxic Tuesday. It's Toxic Tuesday. So block that ghost, delete that clown. You've got this now, go run this town. Welcome to Date or Detonate. Go bliss, block and bounce.
Hey guys, welcome to Date or Detonate. We're so excited that you guys are here. If you're in the chat, please send us a thumbs up or heart. We'd love to know that you're here. We're going to wait a few minutes for some people to join before we get started. We're so excited to have you guys here. It's Tuesday, Toxic Tuesday. Can you guys hear us? Everything's good? All right, we'll get started. Welcome to Date or Detonate. I'm your host, Luma, and tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We're diving into the absolute chaos of modern dating through the anonymous submissions that we have, through this link that we have in our bio. If you haven't already, we're going to resubmit the link in the chat. You guys can click it so you can send your anonymous submissions. But we did have some submissions this week, so we're going to go ahead and discuss those during our live, and we want to hear your feedback. If you guys are going through something, we want to hear it. So before we get started, we want to see you guys hit some fire emojis in the chat. I want to see if you guys are here. I want to see some fire emojis in the chat, my friends. Okay, perfect. All right, so if you've ever had or read a dating story online and you guys thought, okay, there's no way this is real because that's just too crazy. Well, guess what? I've got some stories for you tonight that are going to make you question everything you thought you knew about human behavior. So, here we go. If you're ready, type messy in the chat because we're gonna go. We're gonna have some really exciting stuff for you guys. It's gonna be great. If you're ready for some relationship drama that's gonna make your dating life look like a fairy tale, let's go. Okay, so tonight we're covering 6 absolutely unhinged dating situations that real people are actually living through, that actually sent us anonymously for advice. And I'm gonna break down exactly what was wrong with it, why it's wrong, and what you should do if you ever find yourself in similar situations. The reason that we made this live and this channel was because we wanted to give valuable information to all of our viewers. So we're going to go ahead and discuss these situations, and I want to hear feedback from everyone. This is your reminder that the dating pool is like a puddle full of red flags and emotional unavailability. And people who think that controlling the Wi-Fi password is like normal relationship behavior, which is not. And actually, side note, actually that's a real story that we're covering tonight, which is crazy. So here we go. Grab your favorite snack, your beverage, get comfortable. We're going to dive into some relationship disasters that'll make you feel better about being single, or if you're married, good for you. Anyways, let's go. So the first anonymous submission we got to our channel, which was crazy, she said, how do you even date when everyone is addicted to their phones? I went on a date recently where this person spent more time looking at their phone and their screen than my face. And I felt really uncomfortable. I felt like we could have just ignored each other for free. So what was the point in going on a date if they're going to sit there and ignore me? So I want to know, how do I navigate this for next time? I feel very awkward. There was no eye contact. What should I do? I'd give the whole dating scene another shot. I'm willing and I'm open to it. But like, is this new dating life now? Like, what should I do? Please help. I'm struggling here. Okay, chat. What do we think? What do we think, chat? Is phones part of modern dating now? I think that phones is part of modern dating now. Let's think about this. Yes, phones are part of modern dating, but what he did to you is absolutely not acceptable. So we're gonna go ahead and press the detonate button for that. And the reason being is, bestie, we could have stayed home and ignored each other for free. I'm deceased. If someone's gonna take you out on a date and they're gonna tell you that they want to take you out and then they're on their phone their entire time, not only is that disrespectful, but it's rude. You could have stayed home and ignored each other for free. What was the point in that? What do you guys think, chat? What was the point in that? If you're going to take somebody out on a date and you're going to ignore them the whole time on your phone, like, that's completely unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable. What do you guys think? Have you guys been on a date where they're ignoring you on their phone the whole time? If you're in the chat and you're watching this, please type zombie if you've ever been on a date with someone that's more interested in their phone than you, which is insulting, but please don't take that personally, okay? But let's talk about why this is actually a massive red flag for people, and they're normalizing it. Why can't someone put their phone down for a few hours to get to know you? You know, they're telling you exactly where you rank in priorities, you know, which is below their Instagram notifications, which is terrible, you know? So we should not be putting up with that. But I did some research on this before our live, and the psychology of phone addiction in dating, because this makes me really upset. It says, here's what's really happening when someone chooses their phone over you on a date. Okay, I'm going to give you the reasons why. One, they have zero impulse control. If they can't resist checking their phone during a date, how are they going to handle bigger temptations in real life? Unless, side note, of course, it's an emergency. Maybe they have a kid at home, but I think that they should, you know, communicate that prior. Number two is going to be, they don't respect your time. You both took time out of your day to carve times out of your schedule to, you know, to be there, and they're treating you like background noise. You know, that's not okay. And then they're emotionally unavailable. So someone who's constantly seeking digital stimulation is avoiding real connection, you know, and that's really sad. So if they're constantly on their phone ignoring you while they had to take you out on a date, you know, they're definitely avoiding real connection. Number four is they have FOMO. Does anyone in the chat know what FOMO is? I believe it's fear of missing out. So instead of paying attention to you on the date, they're so afraid of missing something online when they're missing what's right in front of them, which is terrible. So definitely would not waste my time going on a date with them again. But thank you so much for their anonymous submission. But can we talk about how this person described it as parallel phone scrolling with occasional awkward eye contact? Because that's awkward. And that's what most dating has become for some people. They want to seek social validation while being on a date without actually, get this, the vulnerability of engaging to get to know somebody. So they put the effort into going on the date, but to actually talk to them and put effort in, they don't want to do that. So they want to go on social media and take pictures and pretend that they're on a date, but they're not putting actual effort into the date that's in front of them. Yeah, that's weird. That doesn't make sense. It's like they're treating dates like a Netflix show, but they're half watching while they scroll TikTok. That's terrible. Except you're not their entertainment. You know, you're there to spend time with them, to get to know them, and you are a human being deserving of attention and respect. Thank you for sending in that anonymous submission. I want you to know that we're thankful. I hope you're hearing this live or you watch it back later. And I'm really sorry that you guys are going through that. To my family in the chat, I want to hear, what's your worst phone behavior that you've experienced in the chat? Let us know. We'll give everyone some time. If you can go ahead and send in the chat your worst experience with phone behavior on a date, I'd love to hear it. In the meantime, How to handle phone zombies. I think this is really helpful in modern dating. So, how to handle phone zombies. If you're on a date with someone who won't put their phone down, and I mean they will not put their phone down. First, option 1 is the direct approach. Hey, I'm really enjoying our conversation, but would you mind putting your phone away so we can focus on one another? I do believe that you should give everyone a fair chance. So maybe they didn't realize, how bad it was. Whoa. So we should, my friends, give everyone a fair chance. Option 2 is the mirror method. Pull out your own phone and then start scrolling. And then when they notice, say, oh, I thought we were having a phone date now. Yeah, that was a terrible joke. But, if you try that out on a date in real life, please let me know. I want to know how that goes. Option 3 is the exit strategy. I don't think we're on the same page about what a date should look like, and I'm going to head out.
Bye-bye.
That, my friends. That's probably the best case scenario. Don't tolerate the self-disrespect. If you tell them once and they're still on their phone and ignoring you, I think you need to leave. Set phone boundaries early. Here's my advice. Make your expectations clear from the beginning, whether you're planning the date or you're casually mentioning something like, hey, I'm really looking forward to some really good conversations without distractions. And honestly, the person idea of putting in will actually keep eye contact in their bio really isn't that crazy these days. In a world where basic human decency is becoming rare, maybe we really do need to advertise our ability to be present. I feel like everyone's so fake on social media, but they don't really care about what's, right in front of them, which is sad, But the big picture, this story that you sent in, I'm so glad you brought that up so we could discuss this. I'm sure you're not the only person going through this, but this story represents more, and it's bigger than just a phone addiction. It's the death of what is intentional dating. People are treating their potential partners like they're swiping through an app, even though they're sitting right across from them, and then ignoring them on the phone the whole time, which is sad, and I'm really sorry, that happened to you. So I definitely would ask them,
what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Because that's not acceptable. And if someone can't give you their undivided attention for 2 hours, they're not ready for a relationship. 100% not ready for a relationship. So what I would do is let them know when they're ready for a pen pal who occasionally, will take you out to eat, then, that's all you got. But otherwise, moving forward on to the next. Remember, chat. Please remember. You deserve someone who's excited to talk to you, not just because they see you as a minor interruption during their screen time, which is rude and disrespectful. Don't normalize digital disrespect just because everybody does it now, okay? Thank you. So otherwise, leave the date, walk out,
Bye-bye,
and move on. Okay, thank you guys, everyone that's in the chat. If you're watching this live, you still have time to send in your anonymous submission. I'll go ahead and send it in the chat again. We're discussing live questions and answers. If you have any date disasters, if you have any relationship advice questions, go ahead and send it. We still have room if you want to send any submissions in. Otherwise, we're going to go what we received through the week. So we're going to move on to our next one. If you're still here with me, if you can send some fire emojis in the chat, I would really appreciate it. You guys are still here with me. Thank you guys so much. We are Date or Detonate, and we will be here every Tuesday. Safe space for everybody. Okay, our next anonymous submission that we got in is everyone's favorite dating mystery, the post-perfect date ghost. This has definitely happened to me personally, so I would love to hear from the chat if this has happened to you guys and your advice that you'd like to give our anonymous viewer. And if you're in this chat, anonymous viewer, thank you for the submission. We really appreciate you. Here goes. All right. We matched a couple weeks ago and talked almost every day until we were finally up for drinks last Friday. It was one of the best dates I've ever had in years. Like, the conversation flowed effortlessly. And we laughed the whole time, and it was just amazing overall. There was real chemistry, or at least I thought there was. We hugged goodbye, and she texted me when she got home, and then nothing happened. I followed up with a casual, hey, had a great time, would love to do it again. And then I texted the next day and got no reply. So it's been almost a week now. I'm so confused. I'm confused. Like, how do you go from vibing with someone like that? And I mean, we were really vibing to completely ghosting somebody. Did I misread everything? Is this just not how dating works? I made a recap in my head of the whole night from beginning to end, and even when we said goodbye. And I know I didn't say anything offensive that would have hurt her. And she seemed like she was really into me. I'm not sure what's going on. Please help. Okay, chat, what do we have to help this person that sent this in? What do we have to help this person that sent this in? Because this is this is really sad, and I want to make sure that, you know, we can give this person the best advice, whether they're watching live or if they're going to watch this back. So what do we think, chat? What do we think? What do we think? Okay, well, what I think is honey, 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 the mental replay of the entire date looking for clues. I know that I didn't say anything offensive in the craziness of like living in the twilight of modern zone dating. Let's break this down one by one. If you're still here in the chat, please type confused. We want to hear you. We're going to answer this for this person. I made his anonymous submission. So here we go. The perfect date phenomenon when they turn into a ghost. First, let's acknowledge anonymous submission. We want to let you know that you did everything right. You had a great conversation. You made her laugh. You had great, genuine chemistry. You sent her a respectful follow-up text, which, you know, most guys or girls don't do this these days. So great job. You gave her space after no response. So we need to clap for that, because you gave her space with no response. So thank you for that. And then poof, she's gone. She vanished. We don't know if she was abducted by aliens. Who knows? She ghosted. But here's why people ghost after good dates. The overwhelm factor, number one. Sometimes people get scared when they actually feel something real. If she's been on a string of bad dates, a genuine connection, like maybe what she had with you, was maybe overwhelming or intense, which is crazy, you know? And I'm sorry to tell you. Number two, the comparison shopping mentality. You know, to be honest, you guys aren't exclusive, so she might be dating multiple people to decide to pursue in someone else. In the age of dating apps, people are always, you know, looking for potential partners, like they're shopping on Amazon. Always wondering if there's something better in their cart or if they need to keep looking. Is that not true, chat? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe our viewer just took it a little personally, but we're here to help you clear it up. Number three is the avoidant attachment style. Some people are literally wired to run when things get too real. They literally run when things get too real. The better the date, the more likely they are to ghost. Which is crazy. So, what do you do, chat? I don't know. There's too many things that could have been why she decided after your amazing date she wasn't interested. Maybe she's still dating her ex. Who knows? Which brings me to my next point. The X factor. Plot twist, her ex may have slid back into her DMs after your perfect date. Timing is everything in dating, and sometimes you're just collateral damage in someone else's messy love story. Sorry, guys. Sorry. You guys still here with me in the chat? Number five, the internal issues. Maybe after your amazing date, she said she's dealing with some personal stuff that has nothing to do with you. Mental health, family, work, drama, stress, and just not being ready to date or being ready for something real. And maybe she felt a real connection for you. She just wasn't ready to do something about it, you know, which is crazy. But chat, I want to leave the chat open on the floor for you guys. What do you think happened in this date? Let me recap for anyone who's just now joining. Let me recap. He or she took them on a date. They had a great time. They were vibing. Everything was great. They hugged goodbye. It was vibing very well. And then all of a sudden, she disappeared. And the anonymous viewer is asking for advice. What do you guys think happened? Can you let me know in the chat? What do you think happened? What do we think happened for our viewer? Did she get abducted by aliens? I don't know. She used him. Do you think she used him to pay for the date? Oh, that's not positive advice for our viewer. Do you think she used him to pay for the date? Crap. I hope not. Did she use him to pay for the date? I don't know. I hope not. Sorry. If you're here in the chat and you were the anonymous submission, I really hope she didn't use you to pay for the date. Kylie thinks she did, just so you could pay for the food. So who knows? If you do have an update, please send us an update in the forum. We'd love to hear an update, or if you did hear back from her, please let us know. Otherwise, if you're just now joining us, please hit the Google Doc link. You can submit in your anonymous submissions. We'd love to hear it. Next, we're gonna go through our next one. Just so you know, if you're still here, can we talk about how this person, this amazing person, is doing a full analysis of the date? I made a whole recap, and you feel like you did something wrong, but here's the thing: you probably didn't, and we want to let you know that sometimes people ghost not because you did something wrong, but because you did everything right, and they're just not ready for that. So I just want to let you know that if you're here, you know, if you didn't offend her and you didn't do anything wrong, then maybe it was just her, and you need to accept that and move on with your life.
Bye bye.
Next anonymous submission. This is just how modern dating works these days, my friends. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, yes, ghosting has become so normalized that people do it even after really good experiences. You know, an emotional equivalent of leaving a restaurant without paying. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know, hopefully she reaches back out to you and lets you know maybe she's not interested. But anyway, if you're just now joining us, thank you guys so much. Welcome to Date or Detonate. We posted the link in the chat. We're doing live anonymous submissions. Please let us know if you have any relationship advice, questions. We'd love to be here for you. We're going to go through the next anonymous submission that we just received. They want to know, how do you handle the perfect date ghost? How do you handle the perfect date ghost? Number one, you send one text, okay? Hey, I had a great time the other night. If you're not interested, you know, no worries, but I'd appreciate letting me know either way. Give him a way out, you know? Wait a response. Give it a few days. Sometimes people are busy, believe it or not. Give it some time, and then after that, you move on. If there's no response, delete their number and keep dating, okay?
Bye-bye.
And move on. What not to do. Okay, chat, let's go over what not to do. What not to do when somebody ghosts you after the perfect date. Okay, get ready, chat, this is important. Don't send multiple texts. If you send multiple texts after they ghosted you, you're being a possessive, creepy stalker. Like, they don't owe you anything. One. Okay? Thank you. Number two, don't analyze her social media. Why? Because that's creepy. She doesn't know you. Don't do that. Or he. They don't know you. Don't do that. Number three, don't ask mutual friends what happened. That's also uncomfortable. Why would you want to put your mutual friend in the middle of it? Don't do that. And last and not least, if you get ghosted on the perfect date, don't take it personally, okay? Don't take it personally. Okay, silver lining is, here's what this person should remember if you're the one that sent the anonymous submission in. If you ghost someone after a genuine good time, they're showing you their character. You don't want to be with someone who handles discomfort by disappearing. The right person for you won't ghost after a good date. They'll be excited to see you again. They'll communicate. They'll show up consistently. And if they can't make it, then, you know, they'll let you know. All right, chat, are you still here with me? Let me know. You guys let me know if you're still here. I'm pausing to give you guys some time to catch up. If you can let me know. Thank you guys so much for sending hearts and fire emojis in the chat. We really appreciate it. We love being here. If you guys are in the chat, please let us know. Perfect. Okay, moving on. We're going to let you know that whoever ghosted you did you a favor by showing you who they are early on. So go be free. Better than finding out 6 months into a relationship when they disappear during your first real conflict. Seriously, be thankful. At least, you know, it's better than marrying them. Okay, moving on to number 3 anonymous submission that we got in. Thank you, Kylie. Kylie says she's here. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys, everyone. Okay, this one's really juicy. So if you guys are still with me, here we go. Buckle up for this next one. It's about to get spicy. This anonymous submission has me all over the place. They said, I've been sleeping with somebody else. Hold on. The way they wrote this is crazy. Hold on. I've been seen sleeping with somebody else, and I can't shake the ick. I've been seeing someone for the last month and a half. I'm male, 30 and she's 34. We text each other daily, call each other frequently, and see each other as much as we can. We both have travel plans this summer. He pays for all of our dates. He even pays for my friend's drinks and food just to be nice. He's really nice. He tries to support me in any way that he can, and he's a lot of fun. And he's genuinely pretty great. The problem is that I borrowed his phone to text my friend the other night, and a few messages under mine, I saw something that looked very sexually suggestive in the text. I shouldn't have done this. I admit this. But I opened it and saw that he hooked up with someone the other night. Bro, I need time to process that. So then I freaked out and left, and he's been trying to see me ever since, and he's maintained that we weren't exclusive, and he's sorry, basically. But I really do like him, but I feel like that rubbed me the wrong way, and now I'm really angry. So now I don't know what to do. He didn't do anything wrong, technically, but I would like to continue to see him, but I still have the ick now, and I feel grossed out. What should I do, chat? What should I do? What do we think, chat? What do we think, chat? That was really deep. Hold on. So, for anyone that's just now joining, we got an anonymous submission from one of our viewers. They said that they've been seeing somebody. Didn't say exactly how long, but she said that he pays for everything. And then she found out that he hooked up with someone else the other day. Now she has the ick, but she wants to keep dating him. What does she do? Chat, if you can let us know what you think that he should do. If you can let us know. Let's think about this. That's pretty crazy. Kylie says she's here. Thank you. Kylie says break up. Yeah, I think I agree with that. So what I would say is, girl, you're saying he technically didn't do anything wrong. Stop right there. We need to have a serious conversation between what's technically okay and what actually feels right in your soul. If you've ever had the ick recently, please type ick in the chat because we want to hear it if you've had the ick in the chat. This is a great topic. All right, let's get into why this is not okay. So the technically not cheating defense. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, if you haven't had the exclusivity talk, and he's technically free to see other people, but you know what isn't technically legal? Putting pineapple on pizza. You know I hate that crap. Doesn't mean that it's right. Right? You shouldn't do it. It's gross. The fact that he's hiding behind we weren't exclusive tells you everything you need to know about his character. A man or woman with integrity would have either one, they would have had the exclusivity conversation before things got serious, because it sounds like he was taking you out paying for everything. Or two, been upfront about seeing other people. Hey, I really like you and I want to continue this, but we're still getting to know each other. I want to see other people. Nothing wrong with that. Or three, not treated you like his girlfriend while sleeping with other women. Hello? Chad, do we see what's wrong with this here? Kylie says just break up. It says the girlfriend treatment without the title. Let's break down what this man was doing, okay? Chat, let's break down what this man was doing. He was texting you daily, okay? He's calling frequently. He's seeing you as much as possible. He's paying for you and your friends. Hello? He's being supportive and acting genuinely pretty great, okay? But at the same time, also, hold on, let's process this information. But at the same time, also, he's also sleeping with other women and having them over the same day. He left someone else's bed. Chat, that is crazy. And then he's not being transparent about his other activities. Bro, that's not okay. This is called, what do we call this, chat? Having your cake and eating it too. It's emotional manipulation disguised as keeping things casual. Ugh, okay. If anyone's ever had the ick, please let us know in the chat. If you can type ick, I'd love to hear it. If you can type ick, please let us know if you've ever had the ick, because I'm going to break this down so you guys don't have any questions. The ick factor explained. Okay, the ick that she's experiencing, that's her intuition screaming at her. Her body is telling her the natural response to being treated like she's special while still being treated like she's replaceable. Okay? The ick isn't about jealousy. It has nothing to do with jealousy. If anyone thinks that the ick is about jealousy, you're wrong. So please listen up. The ick, it's about respect. It's the fact that he's compartmentalizing his life in a way that makes her feel like she's just another option rather than a priority. Chat, what do you guys think? If you would still be okay with the situation, I want to see a check mark for yes. And then put an X for no if you'd break up with him. Let's give you guys some time to think about that. Okay, thank you guys for the chat. That's hilarious. Everybody said break up with him. So I think that we need to break up with him. I agree. You need to break up with him. The timeline makes it worse here. Can we talk about the timeline? He left someone else's house in the morning and had her over that night. That's just not technically exclusive. That's logically gross. Okay? Even if you're not exclusive, there's something to be said about, get ready, basic hygiene and emotional cleansing between partners, because that's nasty. The fact that he can seamlessly transition from one woman's bed to another woman's couch shows he's disgusting and would make me question his emotional availability and his integrity. Crazy. Why technically is not enough? Well, this is what you guys need to understand, so listen up. If you guys are watching this live, listen up. If you guys are watching this after the fact, listen up. Here's what you need to understand. Just because something isn't technically wrong doesn't mean that it's not right for you either. Your feelings matter, your comfort level matters, and your boundaries matter. If the thought of him with someone else makes you sick, okay, you know, that's valid. But if you can't get the image out of your head, that's also normal. If you feel like you can't trust him, even though he didn't technically do anything wrong, that's your intuition protecting you. Okay, you guys still with me here? The real question she should be asking is, instead of, how do I get over this ick? She should be asking, why didn't he bring up exclusivity after a month and a half of girlfriend treatment? I don't know, that's a great question. Maybe he was waiting on you? I don't know. I don't have that answer. Number 2, why am I trying to talk myself out of my own feelings? Why are you trying to talk yourself out of your own feelings? Do you want to be with someone who operates in gray areas? Probably not. If you guys are still here with me in the chat, please send a heart emoji. If you guys are still here with me in the chat, please send a heart emoji. Do you want to be with someone who operates in gray areas? Probably not. What does this say about you? How he'll handle boundaries in the future? We already know what he's gonna do. So, what this behavior predicts. Is he comfortable with this level of acting like this? That's crazy. Sounds to me like maybe he's done this before. If you guys agree with him doing that, let us know in the chat. If you don't agree, let me know in the chat. If he did it before, is he going to continue to do it and say that you guys are just friends? Is he going to flirt with other women and say it doesn't mean anything? There's too many questions here. He's keeping parts of his life secret just because you didn't specifically ask. This is weird, chat. Okay, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. We still have a few more submissions. If you're still in the chat, please let us know. Please text in the chat. We really appreciate it. It helps us get bumped up to YouTube's algorithm. So thank you so much. This behavior is a preview of coming attractions, and the movie doesn't look good. So if you think that this behavior is okay, it's not. She wants to keep seeing him, even though she feels grossed out. That's a hard place to be in, you know. I can't give you really advice on that, because personally, I would have left. What do you guys think? Type standards in the chat if you think that she should have walked away from this situation. If you're in the chat and you're still here, type standards in the chat if you think she should have walked away from the situation. If you're watching this live back later, type standards in the chat and let us know. That way we know what you guys think. My advice for the situation, here's what I would tell her. Thank you guys so much for typing standard in the chat. I really appreciate it. What I would tell her is, 1, have the conversation. Have the conversation, hey, it's always awkward, but like, hey, I need to know, are you seeing other people? Because the way we've been acting feels like exclusive to me, and I want to know where we stand. Thank you guys so much. Number 2 is to set your boundary. I understand we weren't technically exclusive, but I'm not comfortable continuing to see someone who's sleeping with other people. So I need to move forward with exclusivity. Can you let me know? I think that that's fair. If you're still here with me in the chat, please type fair in the chat. We want to hear what you think about dating with exclusivity or not. Number 3 would be trust your gut and walk away. The situation doesn't feel right to me. You know, I don't want to force myself to be okay with something that makes me uncomfortable. Agreed? Agreed. So the bigger lesson here is that this is a perfect example why we need to stop accepting technically okay behavior in our relationships. Just because someone's technically not cheating doesn't mean that they're treating you with respect. Agreed? So your feelings are not an inconvenience to be managed. They're information to be honored. Thank you guys so much. Can you guys hear the background music? You can hear the background music? Cool, cool, cool. I just want to make sure everything's good. I know our last live, the background music was a little bit too loud. Thank you guys so much. There's still time to send in your anonymous live questions. We'll go over them live. Thank you guys so much. Otherwise, we're moving on to the next one. The next one, this one's pretty crazy, and it will make your skin crawl. So, if you're ready, let's go. Type ready in the chat if you guys are ready. If you guys are ready for this next one, it's pretty crazy. All right, Kylie says she's ready. Let's go. All right, he gave me flowers, but I knew they weren't really for me. So yesterday I met my boyfriend, and it was his birthday. When I got into his car, I saw 3 flowers. 1 rose and 2 pink ones. Oh, okay. Lying there near the front seat. They looked pretty, but dried out. Not fresh. And I asked him casually, who gave these to you? And without missing a beat, he said, I got them for you. But then something inside me just didn't believe it. I don't know how to explain it. I knew. It didn't feel like they were meant for me. As if someone else had given to them, and he was just passing them on to me. There was no note or gesture of like, no moment of like, hey, I got you these. You know, just them sitting out there, almost like he hoped I'd accept them without asking questions. The ribbon was cut. Everything felt off. I felt the ick. When I asked him, when did you get it? He said on his way from coming back. So I didn't take it. I just left him there in the back seat. I don't know how to communicate this to him because I don't want to fight, but I also feel uncomfortable. He also sensed something's off, but he's not going to bring it up either. Chat, what do we think? Chat. What do we think? What do we think? I'm going to give you guys some time to respond to that. What do we think? That was pretty crazy. I was not expecting that. What do we think, chat? What do we think? I don't know. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Chat, he's cheating. Hello, he's cheating on her. Hello. The audacity of this man. Did he really try to give her used flowers on his birthday so she wouldn't notice? He's cheating, chat. Chat. Is he cheating? Type chat. Type cheating in the chat if you think that he's cheating. Is he cheating, chat? What do we think? Is he cheating? If someone was meant to give you fresh flowers, don't you think they put a little bit of effort into it? Is he cheating? Yep. Kelly says cheat, detonate. Agreed. Okay. Let's break this down all the ways, chat, that this man fumbled, okay? Let's break it down. Thank you guys so much for all the hearts in the chat and sending all the hearts. It really helps us get up there in YouTube's algorithm. So guys, thank you so much. But anyway, here we go. Number 1. Red flag is the roses were dried out. Fresh flowers for your girlfriend versus wilted flowers for someone else. Okay, chat, we know he gave those flowers to someone else. Let's be so for real. Okay, number 2, if you gave someone fresh flowers, the ribbon wouldn't be cut. So somebody already opened this gift that she took, right? If you had fresh flowers given to you, wouldn't you know there'd be a ribbon and they'd be all like niced up? These flowers were loose. And they look dried up. So I think he's probably cheating. Okay, next, there's no presentation. Just lying there like forgotten groceries. There's no card, no nothing. No romantic gesture, nothing. That's weird, chat. That's weird. I'm getting ick. And his immediate lie. I gave them to you without hesitation. The timing. It's his birthday, but he's giving her flowers. Okay, come on, people. It's his birthday, but he's giving her flowers. Trust your intuition, chat. What do we think, chat? We still think he's cheating? Do we still think he's cheating? I think he's cheating. Yep, Kylie says cheater. Definitely cheating. Trust your intuition, chat. Can we talk about how this woman knew immediately that something was off? I mean, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. We need to stop apologizing for our gut feelings. She said something inside me knew that it was wrong. She just didn't believe it. That's pretty crazy, chat. Women and men, we need to stop apologizing for our feelings. Your intuition's not paranoia. It's pattern recognition. Your subconscious picks up on inconsistencies that your conscious mind hasn't fully processed yet. Okay, chat, I have a question for you. How often do you ignore your gut feelings to avoid seeming crazy? Be honest. I need an answer, chat. How often do you ignore your gut feelings to avoid seeming crazy? We'll give the chat some time to respond. How often do you ignore your gut feelings to avoid seeming crazy? Be honest, be honest, be honest. Kelly says a lot. I think I do too. Ignore your gut feelings to avoid seeming crazy. I think so too. We're gonna break down the psychology of recycled gifts. Are you ready? What kind of person gives their girlfriend flowers that someone else gave them? Let's analyze this. Scenario 1, the ex gift. Maybe his ex gave him flowers trying to win him back, right? But instead of throwing them away, he thought, why waste them? I'll recycle them and give them to my girlfriend. Terrible, 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 terrible. Okay, so that's option 1. Chat, do we think it's option 1? I don't know. Option 2 was family flowers. Maybe his mom or his sister gave him flowers for his birthday, and he decided to re-gift them. Still clap. Definitely a slap for that. But maybe he's trying to cover his tracks. And he didn't want to get caught regifting them, and he wanted to be cheap. Who knows? Scenario 3. He's seeing other women. Maybe someone else, a woman, gave him flowers, and he's trying to cover his tracks by giving them to his girlfriend because he forgot that they were there. That's absolutely terrible. None of these scenarios are good, by the way, so I really wouldn't have a good answer for you. So thank you for that anonymous submission, and I want to let you know that's terrible. But also, this man reeks of lazy boyfriend syndrome, okay? He wants to take credit for being romantic without putting in any actual effort. Oh, thank you guys so much for all the hearts in the chat. You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much. He wants to put in 0 effort and reap the benefits from it, and that's not okay. He wants the good boyfriend points without the good boyfriend work. Absolutely not. So it's like when someone shares a meme with you on Facebook, your Facebook wall, and expects you to be grateful for the thoughtful gesture. Sir, you pushed a button. That's not thoughtfulness. That's bare minimum with a digital interaction. Thank you. Please leave. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Anyways, why didn't she take the flowers? Okay, if you're just now joining us, she saw her boyfriend. She caught her boyfriend with used flowers, and he tried to give them to her, even though they were obviously a gift for him. And now she thinks that he's cheating. So she left the flowers in his car. Oh, thank you guys so much for all the hearts in the chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. If you guys are still here, please type flowers in the chat. That way I know you guys are still here. Thank you guys so much. If you're still here, please type flowers in the chat. Thank you so much. But anyway, we're gonna go through. I love that she left the flowers in the back seat, because that's such a powerful move. She didn't make a scene. She didn't accuse him of lying. She just left. She quietly rejected them and left. Now he's probably freaking out. Sometimes the most powerful response is simply not accepting what doesn't feel right. So good for her. Let's clap for her. Good for you. I'm sure that was really hard to have self-control to not blow up. I know I would have blown up. Chat, would you guys blown up? I think I would have blown up. Moving on. Next, the communication dilemma. She's asking how to communicate this to him, but here's the thing. She already did by not taking the flowers. Deep, I know. She communicated that she's not stupid and won't accept low-effort gestures. The fact that he sensed something was off but isn't addressing it tells you everything. A man with integrity would say, hey, you seemed upset about the flowers. What's going on? So what, chat? What should she do? What should she do, chat? What should she do?
Whoa.
This is my advice for the situation. Option 1, direct confrontation. Those flowers felt like they weren't originally meant for me. Can you please be honest about where they came from? That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Whoa. Number 2, set the standard. I appreciate the gesture, but I prefer genuine gifts over afterthoughts. If you want to give me flowers, I'd rather you pick them out specifically for me. Okay, that sounds like less confrontational. Maybe that's a good option. Okay. Option 3, use this as information about his character and see if this pattern of low effort gestures continue. I don't know if I really agree with that. But the bigger picture here is, what do you guys think? Option 1, 2, or 3? Direct confrontation? Option 2 being like, hey, you know, I would appreciate if you picked out fresh flowers for me. Or option 3, don't say anything and just keep looking. What do we think, chat? Give chat some time to catch up. Chat, are we doing option 1, option 2, or option 3? Kylie says 2. Kylie says 3. Sarah says 2. Okay, so we have some different opinions here. Cool, cool, cool. This isn't really about flowers. It's really about self-respect, honesty, and some effort. So it's about whether he sees someone as worth genuine gestures or someone to dump his leftovers on. So I want to hear in the chat, real quick, what's the worst recycled gift you've ever gotten? Do you have anything? Any of the worst recycled gift you've ever gotten? Let's give the chat some time to catch up. The worst recycled gift you've ever gotten. Have you ever gotten a recycled gift? Ew, Sarah said gum. Someone gave you recycled gum? That's nasty. I don't even know what to say to that. What about you, Kylie? Do you have a recycled gift you've ever gotten that someone gave to someone else? That's pretty gross. Thank you guys so much for all the hearts. Thank you for liking this live. I really appreciate it. We're so thankful for all of you guys. Worst recycled gift you've ever gotten. We want to hear it. We want to hear it.
That's stupid.
Sarah, how did you get gum as a recycled gift? I want to know. That's pretty crazy. If you're just now joining us, we want to hear the worst recycled gift you've ever received. Or if you're cheap and you recycled a gift to somebody, please let us know. We'd love to hear it. All right, moving on. Red flags versus green flags. Red flag behavior would be recycling gifts. That's awkward. Number 2, lying about the origin. Number 3, not addressing her obvious discomfort. Obviously, she was upset. Putting in minimal effort. If he is cheating on her, of course. Green flag behavior would be choosing flowers specifically for her. Being honest about where the gift came from, if what he's saying is true. Thank you guys so much for all the hearts in the chat. I really appreciate it. Noticing her reaction and addressing it, because he didn't do that. And also putting in thought into romantic gestures. So I want to let you guys know that you deserve fresh flowers, genuine gestures, and a partner who doesn't try to pass off someone else's gift as their own, which is awkward. My friends, we don't accept crumbs and call it a meal. That was really deep. Okay, we have one more story before we wrap it up. We have one more story. This one's pretty deep. If you have not already, it's not too late. Kylie says probably Legos. Who gave you used Legos? That's crazy. Why would somebody... How do you get used Legos? Are they already built and they give them to you built? You have to take them apart and then rebuild them? Doesn't make any sense. If you're just now joining the live, you can go ahead and click the link we just sent so you can send in your anonymous submissions. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we're going to go through our next anonymous submission. This one's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I saved the best for last. Here we go. Here we go. My fiance, 40, female, ignored me, 45, male, announced visit. We've been together for over 2 years, living in separate houses. It isn't normal for me to turn up unannounced, but she had a tough few weeks with house things falling through, and it wasn't normal to hear from her all day. Usually I get like a goodnight text, and I thought it couldn't hurt to check on her. You know, she's my girlfriend. We've been dating for 2 years, and I wanted to be a good boyfriend and show up for her. Okay. I drove around for 20 minutes to get to her house around 10:30 at night. I knocked on the door, rang the doorbell multiple times, and I got no answer. She said her phone was on D, do not disturb, and she didn't answer the door because she was scared it was a random person. I would have believed all of this had things just went on normally, but then I noticed that she has downloaded the videos. She's downloaded the videos from the Ring app and deleted them from her iPad. These videos clearly show me at the front door, and she manually turned on the alarm so that it doesn't go on automatically with the Ring floodlight. Okay. Does anyone have the Ring floodlight here? Can you let me know? So I left after 30 minutes of waiting around. She called me and went mental, calling me a stalker, showing up at her house unannounced when we've been dating for 2 years. Okay. That's weird. So then, I totally understand if this was like early on in the relationship, but we've been dating for 2 years and we're actually engaged. I've never had a reason to question our relationship or anything, so I'm really confused. Why would she lie? Was somebody else there? What should I do, chat? Please help me. Well, that was pretty crazy. What do we think, chat? That was crazy. She's cheating. Kylie says she's cheating. Let's give the chat some time to catch up. If you guys are just now joining, we're going over our last anonymous submission. Kylie says she's cheating. I think she's cheating. If your boyfriend of 2 years that you're engaged to showed up to give you some moral support after he hasn't seen you and because you've been having a bad few weeks and you didn't answer the damn door, girl,
Bye-bye.
You're cheating. Okay, let's be so for real. You're cheating. Y'all, the anxiety I had reading this, there's so many layers of mess here, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. Type sus in the chat if you think that she's cheating. If you think that she's cheating, type sus. If you're just now joining, she didn't answer the door for her boyfriend of 2 years and they're engaged. If she's cheating, type sus in the chat. Exactly. Kylie says she's cheating. Sarah says she's sus. She's cheating. Okay, let's break this down. Let's break this down. First, let me acknowledge. Thank you for sending this anonymous submission. I'm sure this was painful for you, so thank you for submitting it in. You showing up unannounced at 10:30 p.m. is a choice. Even in a committed relationship, that's kind of late for a surprise visit. I have to be fair. However, they're engaged. You've been together for 2 years, and he's genuinely concerned about her because he noticed that her communication pattern has changed. That's important, chat. Now, let's talk about her response because, honey, this is where things get spicy.
Whoa.
The red flags in her behavior. Let's break this down. She ignored him completely, didn't answer the door or her phone. She's cheating. She lied about not knowing it was him when the Ring footage clearly showed it was him. Then she manually turned on the alarm. This suggests that she was probably awake and already aware that he was there. What the? And then she deleted the Ring cam footage. Why delete evidence unless you were hiding something? Why? She called him a stalker, classic reflection, and gaslighting. Literally makes no sense. And I'm sure he rang the doorbell. And then she went mental on him, extreme reaction and deflection of her suspicious behavior. The I was so scared excuse I didn't come to the door. Ladies, if your fiance showed up at the door, would you ignore him in the chat? Please type yes or no. I need to know. Please type yes or no in the chat. If you would ignore your fiance of 2 years showing up at the door? Type yes or no in the chat, please. I want to hear it. Sarah says no. What do you think, Kylie? Anyone else in the chat? Type yes or no if you would ignore your fiance. That's pretty crazy. She claimed she didn't answer because she was so scared. It was a random person. But Bessie, that's what Ring doorbells are for, which you clearly had. So you can see who's at your door without opening it. She knew it was you and chose not to answer. She knew it. So I want to know, chat, we agree she's cheating, right? The deleted footage smoking gun. We agree she's cheating, right? The fact that she downloaded and then deleted the ring cam footage is the most suspicious part of this whole story. Why would you delete evidence unless the evidence proves that you are lying? She literally destroying the proof that she knew it was him at the door. That's not behavior of someone that has nothing to hide. That's pretty crazy. The stalker deflection. Calling him a stalker is a classic deflection manipulation tactic. Instead of addressing with him why she ignored him and making him the problem, she's flipping the script and making him feel guilty about her well-being. That's classic gaslighting. You know, that's gaslighting 101. Make the person feel crazy about their behavior when you're the one doing something shady that you shouldn't have, right? She's lying. Gosh, that's terrible. Thank you so much for saying that anonymous submission. I'm sorry to hear that. I want to let you guys know that that's not acceptable, and I would definitely not put up with that for sure. 100%, I wouldn't put up with it for sure. If you guys still here in the chat, please send us a heart. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Please send us a heart. We'd really appreciate it. My beautiful humans, we've covered some pretty crazy things tonight, from phone zombies to lots of cheating. What do these people have in common? They're accepting treatment that they know feels wrong. Partners who prioritize themselves over a relationship and giving overall connection. We're normalizing disrespect and disrespectful behavior, and we shouldn't do that. And then people questioning their own instincts instead of trusting their gut. That's important. Important chat, important chat, important chat. If you have that gut feeling, trust your gut, right? Because otherwise, that's a slap for you. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Your intuition is not paranoia. Actions over words. People show you who they are through what they do, not what they say. You have to teach people how to treat you. By accepting disrespectful behavior, you're letting the person have permission to continue. That was deep. You need to treat people how to treat you. Technically okay is not good enough. Just because something isn't technically wrong doesn't mean that it's right for you. And I think that's something that's really important. So if you're here in the chat and you send in the anonymous submission, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your anonymous submissions. Thank you so much. It's not too late to send them in. We can discuss them next Toxic Tuesday. We'd love to hear from you. I want to let you know that your standards are not negotiable. Don't lower your standards to accommodate someone else's low efforts. And remember this, chat. Remember this. You deserve someone who puts their phone down when they're with you. Let me say it again. You deserve someone who puts their phone down when they're with you. You deserve someone who communicates instead of ghosting you. You deserve someone who's honest about their intentions. You deserve someone who gives you fresh flowers, not recycled ones. And also, you deserve someone who doesn't hide you or control you. Someone who treats you like a partner, not a security threat. If you're still here in the chat, please type worthy. We want to know that you're still here. Please type worthy. Thank you guys so much for joining our Toxic Tuesday live. We really appreciate it. I want to give you a final challenge before I leave. And I want to let you know that if you have to think this hard about your current relationship or dating situation, then it's probably not best for you. And I want to give you guys some really important resources. If any of these stories tonight hit too close to home, I want to give you this information. It's important. Use it. Save it. If you recognize yourself in any of these situations, you need support. It's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. 1-800-799-SAFE. I'm going to repeat that one more time. 1-800-799-7233. And then if you're in immediate crisis and you need help, also suicide line, please call out, reach to somebody. Text HOME 741741. If you recognize yourself in any of these situations, you need support, please, please, please remember, emotional abuse and controlling behavior are serious issues. Don't suffer in silence. Thank you for spending your evening with me, diving into these relationship disasters. Thank you guys so much for engaging in the chat and sharing your stories and supporting the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed tonight's chaos. Ring the notification bell so you never miss our live sessions. Stream this with anyone else that needs to hear these red flag warnings. You might save someone else from their own dating disaster. Until next time, keep your standards high, your boundaries strong, and remember, you deserve nothing less than genuine love and respect. This is your host, Luma. It's been Date or Detonate. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for watching Date or